And we are back at Up North F4. We are here at Nicolet College with Chef Mitch, and we are going to learn a new technique when it comes to cooking a turkey different than different techniques that are out there. So thank you for having us come here and enjoy and explore.
Yes, absolutely. Welcome to Nicolet. Welcome to the culinary wing of campus. We are going to talk about something pretty simple, but super important when it comes to cooking turkeys. Right. We're going to talk about brining.
All right, where do we start?
So first things first, a brine is really just salt water. It's a diluted salt in water. I like to go a lower percent, about 3.5 to 4%, which allows me to brine over a longer period of time. So when I'm submerging my turkey in this brine, it's going to be soaking in the salt and all of the flavors that I have in this brine. Okay. So I like to go a little bit lower on my salt content because it allows for that basically soaking in those flavors of the citrus and the herbs and the spices that we're going to put into this recipe. So first, just so I have nothing else in the way, I put my salt and my brown sugar into half of the water that the recipe calls for.
Okay.
Half of the recipe.
And brown sugar because?
It's got a little bit of molasses in it, so I like that flavor more than white sugar. You definitely could substitute white sugar for something that you didn't want to have that brown sugar in. But I typically use brown sugar whether it's a turkey or chickens or pork that I'm brining. So first, I have half of my water hot. I've dissolved my sugar and my salt in with a little bit of a whisk. And then my next step, I'm going to take these half citrus. I've got lemons and oranges that I'm going to squeeze into my brine. I'm going to give them a good squeeze. Yeah. I like to roll them on my cutting board prior to cutting them in half because it gives it kind of loosens things up in there. Allows me to get more juice out.
So are we going for flavor here, or are we going for like the acid you want in the brine?
Yeah, we're going for flavor. So the acid will help. The citric acid in the citrus will help with a little bit of tenderization in the proteins, but we're mostly going for flavor with the lemon and orange in there.
Citrus?
Yeah.
So, I didn't think of that.
I know.
With the citrus and with the salt, two things are going to happen with this brine, two main things that we're going after with this brine. So over the course of the 3 days of our turkey sitting in the brine, when that salt reacts with the proteins in the bird, it's going to do it's going to tenderize the meat, giving for a more tender product at the end, but it's also going to swell up those proteins, and as that happens, it allows for more moisture retention through the cooking process. Ooh. So as we cook the bird in the oven, we lose less liquid, having a more moist product at the end.
All right, so half the water, brown sugar, salt, citrus.
Yep. So this recipe isn't, you don't have to follow it exactly. So a lot of times when I give this to someone, they say, "Oh, I don't have star anise at home. Do I have to have it?" It's not crucial that you have star anise, or if you're out of pink peppercorns, you don't have pink peppercorns in your pantry, it's totally fine. You can always adjust what goes into this.
So how long is this all supposed to cook right here?
Yep, so this, I'm gonna bring it to a boil, and I like to essentially cook anything that is in there. Say if I have raw garlic in there, I want to cook the garlic all the way through. Because once that garlic's all the way cooked through, it's given up all the flavor that we are going to get from it. Or the citrus, I will cook it until it really gives us everything that we can get from it. And then once I know that all my flavors are locked into that liquid, I'm going to dump this half of my liquid through a strainer of some sort into ice water, which is my second half of the liquid in this recipe.
Oh.
So there's the second half right there.
Yep, absolutely.
Okay.
So this is kind of one of those restaurant hacks. We're going to dump it right into ice water. It's going to bring that temperature right down, and then we can put it right over our bird. If I'm at home, I'm going right into a 5-gallon pail with a lid. I just put my turkey into that pail, dump my brine over it so it's covering it completely, put the lid on it. I put it out in my garage for 3 days. The night before Thanksgiving, I take it out of that brine. I dry it off as much as I can. I put it on a sheet pan or something, or maybe even what you're going to roast it in, into my fridge uncovered to let evaporation happen.
So want that uncovered, okay.
Yep, absolutely. So it's going to allow for evaporation naturally to happen from the skin. When we're searing something, that liquid's going to turn to steam. It's going to be doing the opposite of what we're going for. So we want to pull out as much, now that we've soaked it in the liquid, we want to pull out as much liquid out of that skin as possible. Evaporation is a great way to do it.
And that makes the skin crispy later.
Correct, yep. It's going
Okay.
to allow for a much more crispy skin.
Look at that technique
Learn
right there.
something
Yeah,
right now.
learning information.
Okay.
So, as I
In
watch
depth.
3 days. 3 days in the brine. Is that normal?
Yeah, so you can go 3 days, you don't have to. If you don't have that time commitment, you can do 1, you can do 2 days. But I like to go a little bit longer just because it's going to give more time for those flavors
Oh,
to really
the
get
flavors
into that
to get in
burn.
there.
All right, making progress. What's next?
So cool. We've been boiling for a little while. I like all the, I like the color. I like how things have been cooking and giving up all their flavors.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to take it and dump it through my chinois.
Wow. Okay.
Chinois.
Yeah.
It is smelling really good, but I also smell that citrusy, like orange and lemon. I definitely smell that.
Yeah, absolutely. So now that I
You
give it,
dumped all that.
I
Okay.
give it a little bit of a shake to get the majority of it out. And then everything that goes, or that was in the brine is pretty much trash. We cooked everything that we can get out of it.
Okay.
And now it's all in that liquid. So basically we're kind of making a stock when you think about it.
Yeah.
We've got all the flavoring that we want in our brine. And now it's ready to dump over our turkey.
Okay.
And sit for 3 days if you have the time.
Well, let's take a break now,
Okay.
and when we come back, learn about how to dump it over our turkey.
Yeah, absolutely.
We'll be right back after this break.